Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to the Track Stars Racing Series coverage of Round 8 of the Track Stars Touring Car Series. Of course, the big one on the calendar, the Bathurst 1000. We've got 2 out of the 4 parts of this race completed. We're now up to part 3, nearly at the halfway mark of the race. I believe it's about 66 laps completed so far. So we're just about 14 laps away from the halfway mark. And then this stint will take us over lap 100. And we'll have 60 laps remaining at the end of stint 3 for the run home to the finish line for stint number 4. Looks like grids have been set. Of course, the number 95 car of Humza and Lee being the dominant force so far today, winning the first 2 stints. And now after starting from the back of the field, their It's Racing Esports teammate in Palmer and Simmons now up into second place on the running order. In third is the 787 of Andrew Scott and Aidan Halton. And then we have O'Shea and Austin, the CP Motorsports teammates, in 4th and 5th. And then the back end of the top 10, we have Daleswell and Patasso in 6th, Guider and Costarock in 7th, Walker and Dallitz in 8th. And then it's Von Duve and Taylor in 9th, and then Mario and Faf in 10th. And then rounding out the field, we have the 3-car combination of Ward, Curry and Hayden. Then we have Sandwith and Lashbrook, Harcourt and Burke, and then Oldman and Gordon. Looking at a couple of these drivers and their stint choices, I believe the 55 will now be in the hands of Guider for the rest of the race. Looks like Hayden will be trying to complete his minimum laps for the 3-car team in this stint. And it'll be Curry that drives that number 20 car home. And then Gordock obviously out of the car at the end of his 2 stints, and it'll be Oldman who will pilot the car back home to the end of the race. So it does look like the grids are set. Not sure if we're waiting on a safety car driver to join us or whether we'll be getting underway shortly. So back underway. Be stint number 3 or 4 here today. And the track starts Bathurst 1000, round 8 of the championship. And it's our championship leader in Humza, who will be leading the field around. And looking to add more points to an already growing championship lead. His teammate in Palmer follows behind in second place. Also paints a picture of the championship as well, with Palmer sitting in second in the standings. And then unfortunately the third place in the championship of O'Shea is in third, so that ends that streak. But we do have Scott sitting in third place. So we now sort of get a bit of an idea of who we're going to have pilot the car for the final stint. So it looks like Lee and Simmons will be in the 95 and 96 respectively. You'd expect Holton to be in the 787 for the end of the race. And then it should be Wood and I'd say Austin, because Campbell has done his first 2 stints already. And if Austin completes this stint and no other, he won't complete his minimum lap, so he will be forced to race to the end. Dowswell will be competing in this stint, so that'll put Patasso in the car for the end of the race. Guide will be piloting the car all the way to the end. Then Walker will be swapping with myself, so I'll be jumping in that car for the last stint. And there'll be Taylor. He'll vacate for Von Duve, I believe. And I also believe Mario will be running to the end of the race. Lashbrook will probably finish off the race there. And it'll be Curry, Burke, and Old Man finishing the race as we approach the final corner of our formation, or final safety car lap for the restart. And it's Humza leading them around the final corner, and he'll get on the power on the exit and take us to the restart. So Humza leads the way from Palmer into Hell Corner. Humza running a little bit wide on the exit. And that allows Palmer to run close behind as they go side by side up Mountain Straight. Palmer edging ahead, but he's not going to have the track position into the Griffin's Bend. And he just has to slot in behind Humza there. As they come into the cutting, Humza running a bit wide there, opening the door for Palmer. Palmer looking extremely racy here at the start of this third stint. Looks like Humza just gaining a bit of gap there in through the S's and the Dipper and across the top at McPhillamy Park, just taking advantage of that clean air. Palmer getting caught in that dirty air. As Palmer now stretching the gap, but here comes Austin down Conrod Straight, moves past Scott into third place. Scott very deep, very much giving the opportunity for himself to try and make a move, but can't quite get far enough down the inside at all. And Palmer looks to have made a bit of a mistake, which has brought Austin into contention And it's to really close the gap up between Austin and Scott. So Scott, with a good exit out of this corner, could also be fighting Austin for position to get back into third. But Austin himself will be looking for a way past Palmer into second place. As Palmer on the defensive into Griffin's Bend. Manages to hold that inside line and hold on to second for now. As we have some frantic battling going on between the second, third and fourth place cars. With O'Shea just sitting a little bit further back. Meanwhile, all of this is just allowing Humza to continue to drive away with things. Looks like a bit of a collision there from Palmer. Palmer has gotten into the fence there through the S's, and he has picked up damage as a result. So this is going to make it tough for him to defend from Austin. I think Austin's definitely going to get him down Conrod Straight here. And there we see Austin moving out to the side and sweeps past Palmer with ease there as Palmer battles that damaged car. So we'll catch a replay of that one. Yeah, it just catches that curb on the S's. Wasn't quite settled with the car, and that just pushed him across into that barrier and it gave him the damage. So Scott now back up to third place, with O'Shea and Dowswell following behind. One thing definitely to note is that Dowswell now up into the top 5. He seems to be growing with confidence every time he jumps in this car. And at this point, he's keeping pace with the likes of Scott and O'Shea, who have proven to be very capable competitors here in the Trackstars Touring Car Series this year. And Dowswell on a bit of a comeback. After a bit of a hiatus, he has really starting to grow into the role that he's been given here at Match Spuds Racing. And he's certainly running comfortably in the top 5, and will certainly be placing the MSR 32 in a good position at the moment to compete at the end of the race. And look a bit further down the order. Guida running in 6th place in the number 55 AGU Motorsport Lexus, and the teammate of Mario in 7th. And then we have Taylor Hayden making a move down the inside. I don't think he got that pulled up just enough. Jump to a replay of that one. I think he lost out more than he gained there. So he runs too deep into the corner. Scott Taylor getting that switchback nicely done. So Hayden running in 9th. previously known as Lurox 22. I believe he was the runner-up in the 2020 Tracksars Touring Car Championship, and of course the winner of the opening round in that season at the Blue Moon Bay 500. So he has the success in the major events. But certainly in recent times he has dropped off a little bit in the Tracksars competition. But it is good to see him back out on track here at the Bathurst 1000, as he just comes under a bit of pressure here, and it looks like Dowswell is into the pits, so he's taken some front aero damage. So Dowswell now back on track in 13th place. That was not what he was hoping for on the 32. Not sure what has happened there. But unfortunately for him, falling down the order a bit there. So we see Palmer down in 12th as well after his damage. Hamza out to a 3-second lead over Austin. Probably one thing, part of this event, well, part of this stint that we'll need to keep an eye out for is the pace between Austin and Hamza. These two were previously teammates last year in the Tracksars Touring Car Series. Now both off at separate teams. Austin rejoining the CP Motorsports team. Last time he was part of the squad, he did take victory in both the Bathurst 1000 and the St. Croix 1500. And that was alongside Wood, who is in the 50 car this time around, so both drivers being separated as well there. So gap between these two staying at around 3 seconds. As we see Guida running in 5th place. With Mario Taylor hiding in 8th. And it's Sandwith and Walker. Palmer now up into 11th. Not too far away from a place inside the top 10. Looks like a little bit of lag going on there. Not sure if it's on my end or in the game. Seems to be a bit flickery on all ends. Everything does seem fine on the stream end, so could be a problem with the lobby itself. As So we see Sandwith and Walker fighting it out for 9th place. With Palmer closing in on the spot in the top 10 as well. Back up the front. Austin is closing on Humza. Gap is down to 2 seconds. So lap 9 of 35 in this third stint of 4 here in the Bathurst 1000. Austin very much on the charge here, looking to try and take over the lead of the race. So we get back to the back end of the top 10. Sandwith has closed in on Hayden. Walker following close behind, looking for a way past into 9th. Had to think about making a move there into Griffin's Bend, but definitely wasn't far enough alongside to make anything meaningful happen. Looks like Hayden has run wide. It's a bit hard to tell here. Seems to be a lot of lag going on with this room. Definitely a bit more lag than anything. So we've got Sandwith, Walker, Palmer all nose to tail down Conrod Straight. Will anyone make a move into the chase? Walker tries to go around the outside, doesn't make that work, ends up on the grass, gives up the spot to Palmer. Palmer now up in the 10th place, and Sandwith has gone around. We'll have to catch a replay of that one there. Just catches the grass on the exit and loops it around. Fortunately for him, probably a very good thing he didn't manage to pick up damage, so a lucky escape there for him. So all is not lost there. Thankfully he didn't have to do a complete another lap around the track to get to pit lane. So Palmer now up into 9th, Walker in 10th. All of that gave Hayden a little bit of a break there. But I imagine Palmer will be looking to close that gap very shortly. Get himself another position up the order. There's the 2 AGU teammates, Mario and Guida, swapping positions at the end of Conrod Straight into the chase. So Mario up into 5th place. Guida dropping down to 6th. As we see Taylor there in 7th. bit of an update here on the gap between Humza and Austin. Sort of seems to be staying steady about the 2-second mark. Austin currently holding the fastest lap of the race. So now Humza crosses the line with a new fastest lap in this one. So it looks like he's made some moves to try and extend that gap a bit away from Austin. Look a bit further back, Mario building a gap there on Guider and Taylor. Close together in the battle for 6th place. And then just behind is Hayden and Palmer. Certainly things are looking very glitchy at the moment. Try and cover things as best as we can. There's Hayden now closing up on the back of Taylor. Looks to make a move through the chase and run side by side into the chase. Bit of contact between the two. Taylor off into the grass. Bit of contact there as well. I think Hayden and Taylor are involved. Looks like Taylor and Palmer had a bit of contact. And in all that, Walker has now been promoted up into 8th. There's a yellow flag. Ando's gone around. And there's a call for a safety car. So Scott has lost control through the Griffin's Bend. Picked up engine damage as a result. Let's catch a look at the replay here. Not really too much we can do about that one. But while we are under safety car conditions, we'll just capture some of the pit stops we have going on here. A fuel level between Humza and Austin. It's very similar between the two. We'll catch these pit stops. And then we'll see if we can do a room reset here for myself. See if we can get some improvement. Looks like I have managed to rejoin this. Hopefully this will pick things up. I believe that was a call for the safety car to come in. I'll just double check that one. Yes, so safety car will be in this lap. Alright, so lap 15 of 35. Safety car ending this time around. It'll be Hamza who leads the field to the restart. So we're back racing again. Lap 16 of 35. That's Hamza leading from Austin. O'Shea in third. Mario, Hayden, Harcourt, Guida, Nightwalker in 8th place. Dowswell in 9th. Sandwith in 10th. And then we have Taylor, Ando, Ando swapping places with Taylor. As we see Palmer back down in 13th. I'm not sure what happened there. But Hamza already out to a second lead here. But Austin will be hoping to remain in pursuit. As we see O'Shea, Mario, Hayden in 3rd, 4th and 5th. Hardcore in 6th, 7th is Walker. Walker and Guida battling it out there for 7th and 8th. Not sure what's happened there. So, can we get a replay of some sort? Turns out we can't. So replays are disabled at the moment, sorry for that. So Walker has dropped down the order there. Not sure what's happened to that one. Palmer back up to 11th on the restart. Guida down to 12th now. Hamza about a second ahead of Austin at the moment. As we reach lap 17 of 35. So Hayden's starting to show a bit of pace here. He has closed up to about half a second away from Mario. he can remain inside this little bubble here, not get affected by the dirty air, he could be looking to make a move down Conrod Straight. Certainly on the restart he is showing some extra pace compared to what he had before. And sitting nicely inside the top 5 there. Mario just pushing that gap out a little bit. And that'll probably be enough to see off any challenge from the slipstream. Scott now back up to 9th place. Taylor sitting in 10th. Palmer sitting back in 11th. Hamza just taking that margin out to 1.3 seconds. As we are now a bit over halfway in the race, or in this third stint. Also past the halfway point of our race as well. So we just see Hamza growing that lead a little bit. Where Austin remains in hot pursuit of Hamza for the lead of this race. At this moment, very much a 2-horse race between It's Racing 95 and the CP Motorsports number 1. That said, it is a long race, and there is the number 50 CP Motorsports Nissan of O'Shea and Wood just sitting back there in 3rd. We definitely would not count them out of this race just yet. Certainly a long way to go, a long 60 laps after this stint. probably just switched at the right time there. Looks like Sandwith moving past Harcourt. And also Scott and Palmer also getting past as well. And one car that I've noticed has dropped off there is the number 32 of Dowswell. Of course, we can't get a replay of that one. But we do have Scott Palmer fighting it out for 7th. Sandwith just stealing a gap there. Ahead of Scott for a moment. Palmer has dropped off a little bit. And he's now got Harcourt and Taylor right on his tail. So Scott now closing in on the back of Sandwith. Certainly a solid recovery here from Scott after that engine damage just a few moments ago. I think in the background, I think Harcourt might have got him into the fence there. Could also have been Walker. These three are battling ferociously here for a place inside the top 10. Hard to know where to look. This is probably the more prominent battle here between Scott and Sandwith. As Scott looks to get a good run onto Conrod Straight. I think he might have just enough in the draft. No, he doesn't. He's certainly not closing the gap enough on Sandwith. Certainly have noticed that the WTC racing cars have been lacking a bit of straight line speed during this race. They must be going for a bit more of a high downforce setup to help them across the top of the mountain at the expense of some straight line speed. So Scott maybe a bit more reliant on a bad run from Sandwith out of a corner to try and get himself past Sandwith. So Scott certainly not making as much ground as you'd hope down Conrod Straight in the slipstream. And it's sort of affecting his ability to make a move on Sandwith here. Now he might find himself coming under attack here from Palmer. As Palmer gets a good run out of Murray's corner. Not quite close enough to make a move into turn 1. Palmer now following closely in 8th place. Looks like Palmer managed to sneak inside of Scott, but not quite enough speed carried in there to get the move made. Oh, Palmer just losing a bit of control there on the exit. Got a bit too greedy on the accelerator. But now Scott is much closer to Sandwith. Looks to try and move to the left into the chase. Sandwith not going over defensive, but certainly placing the car in all the right positions to hold on to this spot. But Ando getting a run down the inside into Murray's corner. Gets down the inside. Now it's going to be a drag race down pit straight. And Sandwith and Scott side by side into Hell Corner. Sandwith still holding on to that position, and they continue to go side by side. Looks like the straight line speed of Sandwith just helping out there. Scott trying to get in the draft. Moves right, moves left. Moves right again. And still nothing doing here in this battle for 6th place. There's a bit further up front. It's Hayden and Mario in 5th and 4th. As they are starting to close in together. Maybe a bit of a battle pack there that we will have to keep an eye out for. Palmer just seems to have dropped off a bit. Gap's gone out to over a second, so he's not really factoring into this battle here too much. Maybe just sitting back waiting for something to happen. Of course, he did make that mistake down at Forest Elbow 1 lap ago. Scott getting a good run out on the Conrod Straight again. Don't think he has enough speed though to get himself ahead of Sandwith. Even at 318 kilometers an hour at the end of the straight, it's still not enough. That MSR number 11 is a very slippery Lexus. And at the same time is closing in. Hayden is now up into 4th place. Ahead of Mario, and now this battle pack of Sandwith and Ando now closed in on Mario for a place in the top 5. Bit of a bad exit there from Scott. Has allowed Palmer to be back in this conversation again. Palmer right on the tail of Scott. across the top of the mountain. I'd certainly like to be close behind Scott heading onto Conrod Straight. This will certainly be an interesting pack. Oh, a bit of contact there between Scott and Sandwith. Scott has had to back off not to give away the position. But that has invited Palmer to run side by side with Scott down Conrod Straight. Walker buying into the mix as well. Palmer down the inside. Very late braking there from Scott. Scott's run off into the grass. And he's dropped down to 9th as a result of that. So, unfortunately for Scott, a bit of contact there has jumbled the order up a bit. And he certainly did the right thing to try not to take advantage of the contact he made with Sandwith. But unfortunately, it's opened the door for Palmer and Walker to eventually get ahead. As things just got slightly congested there between the few cars down the end of the Conrod Straight, as we see Sandwith and Mario side by side in Griffin's Bend. Sandwith getting the position there. It looks like Mario and Palmer side by side into the cutting. Palmer was on the outside for that one. It's going to be a tricky proposition for him to make something meaningful stick there. Meanwhile, Hayden doing a fine job in 4th. All this battling between this pack here has certainly allowed them to run away with things. As we get back towards the front, and it's only 0.8 of a second between Humza and Austin. We have 8 laps left in this stint. These two certainly pushing the limits of their vehicles, trying to get the absolute maximum out of them. Of course, not only the bonus points on offer here, but also the track position for the final stint. Getting yourself in clean air could be crucial for the outcome of this race. As this battle, I'll call it for 6th now, continues to rage on. Doing a fine job there to hold on the 6th place. It's Palmer looking for a way past. Does have the momentum onto Conrod Straight. He's got the draft. Does he have enough to make a move on Mario? Gets side by side through the chase. Deep under brakes. Mario has the inside line here. And that's just compromised Palmer's exit a little bit. Now he's going to come under pressure here from Walker. Nose to tail action here for 6th place. 4 cars involved in the battle pack. Mario defending from Palmer. Palmer looking for a way past, but also has to be mindful of the attack from Walker from behind. Palmer goes the outside and towards Griffin's Bend. He gets the move done this time around. He doesn't have to worry about being on the outside. Overtake complete and up in the 6th position. And now the attention turns to Sandwith as side by side. Out of the cutting and through Reed Park between Walker and Mario. So Mario definitely coming under attack here. Just maybe lost a bit of momentum here. Walker all over the back down Conrod Straight. Pulls out of that draft and sails on past Mario. Mario tucking back into the slipstream of Walker. May launch an attack down here at the chase. Seems like he concedes defeat there. So Walker now up in the 7th. As Palmer's closed in on the back of Sandwith for 5th place. So Palmer now all over the back of Sandwith through to cutting. 6 laps left in this stint. And after a bit of damage at the start, Palmer certainly looking to claw his way back up the order and get car 96 back in contention for this race. Palmer now getting a good run on the Conrod Straight into the slipstream. He'll have the inside run under brakes for the chase. And Palmer now getting himself inside the top 5. He now has 5 laps to chase after Luke Hayden. And see if he can get himself up into 4th place. One more spot towards the front of the field. Walker looking to the inside there into Hell Corner. He's looking to mount an attack here on Sandwith for 5th place. Sorry, 6th place, I should say. Mario into the pits. Don't think he quite got that strategy right. I believe he stayed out under that safety car, and that's probably proven a bit costly. Likewise for Nismo. Nismo, although has a lot more fuel on board, he's just taken damage. Dowswell now back into the top 10. It's a battle between Sandwith and Walker here for 6th place. 5 laps to go. Quite enough of a Well, not quite close enough for Walker to make a move there this time around on Sandwith. We look a bit further in front. Palmer is starting to close in on Hayden. We go back up the front. And 4 laps left. 7/10 of a second between Humza and Austin. The battle between Humza and Austin certainly closing up here in the closing stages of the race. Sort of a tricky one to know which way to look. .3 seconds between Hayden and Palmer. Sandwith and Walker very close together. Walker probably looking to make a move. Sandwith gets out of control there on the exit. And that's all the invitation that Walker needs to take 6th place. And unfortunately a bit of damage there for Sandwith. With a few laps to go, I think he might be better off looking to stay on track. So now the closest battle on track here for the lead of the race. It's Austin and Humza. Number 95 looking to keep the perfect record up here across the day at Bathurst. Austin, meanwhile, trying to gain the ascendancy here. Move into the lead of the race. Try and gain that crucial track position. And maybe give himself something to defend in the last stint. We've seen from some of the practice times that he can hold the same pace as Andrew Lee, so if he can just get himself ahead, maybe that'll give him a chance to hold on for the win across the final 60 laps. And of course, with some clean air, it certainly puts the pressure on Lee a bit more to find a way around and also keep it off the walls in that dirty air. 2 laps to go. Half a second the gap between these two. Both drivers pushing hard for the lead. Bit of a moment there from Austin. The gap now out to a second. Could that be enough for Humza to hold on here? And Austin just ran wide again over McPhillamy on the exit curb. And now the gap out to 2 seconds. It's going to be a very tall ask for Austin to do anything in the final lap and a bit. A bit further down the order, Palmer now ahead of Hayden. He's now up into 4th place. crucially an extra position here. One less car for Matt Simmons to pass in the 60 laps to come. Walker up in the 6th place. Scott in 8th at the moment. As we are now on the final lap of this 3rd stint. .100 laps completed. Taylor has provided some lap traffic here, and that's allowed the gap to close up between Hamza and Taylor. Now suddenly Austin is back in the conversation here, and he has the slipstream down Conrod Straight. He goes for a move around the outside into the chase. Hamza just barely holding on as we go on the run to Murray's corner. I did not think things would close up. There's contact between Hamza and Austin. And Austin has stayed to the side. So he has kind of admitted fault there and readdressed it. So Hamza will cross the line. Very much Townsville-esque with Anton and SVG. So it is Hamza that takes the win in stint number 3 from Austin. O'Shea will come across the line in 3rd place. Unfortunately, wasn't close enough to capitalise on that incident. Palmer crosses the line in 4th, ahead of Hayden in 5th, and Walker in 6th. So that puts car 20 into a great position for the final stint. And we have car 11 and Sandwith and Lashbrook. And it'll be Scott in 8th, Harcourt in 9th. Dowswell will come across the line in 10th place. A bit of damage there to go with it. That'll get repaired for the next stint. Mario in 11th. And then we'll have Guy to 12th. Oldman in 13th. And then Taylor will be the last car to finish. So Hamza taking a win there in stint number 3. So 101 laps completed now. 60 left to go. And we're certainly set up for what should be a grandstand finish to this Bathurst 1000. So thanks for tuning in for the moment. I will now be vacating the commentary box, making way for Ryan Palmer to bring us home for the end of the race. So make sure you tune in to see what should be a thrilling conclusion. And you should be in safe hands with Ryan. So thanks a lot for tuning in. It's been a pleasure to bring you part of the stream today. And we'll certainly look forward to seeing you next week for the next coverage of Track Stars at Trial Mountain. But for now, stay tuned as Ryan Palmer will bring you the full